All right, YouTube. So today, in this video, we're taking this, we as in this, and we're gonna put it on, we're gonna put it on that. It's gonna run from the bottom, which we have a big pool that goes underneath this. And we'll be able to pump water up here. It'll curve around this, come right on here, and pour water down. Now, before we go too far, we did melt the end of this. Focus, focus. There we go. So, we'll poke holes in the side. What we're gonna do is we'll poke holes in the side to see if we can't put it up against here and it'll shoot water across. If it won't, we'll make sure that we have it overlapping enough that we can trim the hose back and set it up here. So, join us on our little adventure here. I'm gonna put you all on time lapse. All right, some things we do first before we go into the time lapse. We wanna make sure we have enough hose that is going to come down here and enough here to go down inside the pool that hooked to the pump. Now I bought way too much hose for a reason, to make sure that it's going to go through there. Now, if you're deciding to do this like we did, you have to make sure that you buy the right pump. If you don't buy a high enough powered pump, for feet wise, it won't work. This pump is rated to go 6 foot 5 inches. Anything, say you get a 4 foot one, well, once you hit 4 foot, it's going to stop pumping. So we'll make sure that you get the right pump for the right job. But we'll definitely fasten all this underneath the bottom here. We'll go inside here. We have the pump, we have screws, we have little fasteners that go around the hose. They'll all go underneath here. And my boy and I, we're going to do it. And when I say my boy and I'm going to try to push it off on him as much as I can. All right, YouTube. So we got all the hose clamps that run on the bottom of the slide going up. We got up top. We got them right here. Now, Now we're going to drill some small holes in this line right here coming down. And what our hope is that it's going to shoot water across here. It'll get it all wet. There's going to be some small holes. So put you on time lapse and bring you back. Okay, YouTube, so we got all the holes drilled in that hose. So what we're going to do now is we are going to get a 5-gallon bucket. We're going to put water in it. Just for right now, we're going to hook that hose up. We're going to see how it sprays over here on the side. Because if it sprays good, then great. Then we'll be done with it, other than trimming the extra hose down until we get the pole out here. But right now, we're just gonna have that. All right, YouTube. Right now, the pool's filling up. It's still low on water. What we're gonna do, we've got the old pump here. We're gonna assemble it, okay? Now, the hose is still way too long because we wanna make sure that we have everything we need before we take it off there. Now, if we have any issues with this trying to pop off, again, we'll put a hose clamp around it, but we're gonna set it behind the slide just like this. Now, there isn't enough water in here yet to fire the pump up, so we're gonna have to let it go for a little while. And while we're waiting, put you on hold. Again, I know the hose is way too long. We'll trim it down. We just gotta make sure everything works. We want to leave enough hose on here so we can hide this pump underneath there whenever we're not using it. Might take a few minutes to fill up, but we'll find out here whenever we get it full, whether it's gonna spray the water where we want it to, and then, you know, we'll come back from there. Again, we will trim that down. That hose is way too long. We're gonna trim it down to where it'll sit underneath there. I just leaving it this long for right now, because the length of the hose doesn't matter. It's the height, how much you're pushing out that pump. And that pump should push 6.5 feet. Well, I'm 6.5 feet, and that thing is way under me, so it ought to be more than good enough. So let this fill up a little bit more. Once the pump gets fully submerged, we'll turn it on and see what it does. All right, YouTube. So here's what we got. Pump is inside the water. It's pumping up, spraying down the slide. Now, as much as we wanted this thing to spray across the slide and do all this cool stuff, that is about as best we can get it. But if you are to get up here and you're with the kids, they sit down, what's the first thing it does? Sit it all over this thing. So there we go, right down the pool. Continuous water slide, still filling up, but that's all we're gonna have for tonight. I would say we'd have the kids come out here and go down it once or twice, but to be honest with y'all, we may change this up. I don't know a better way to change it up than what it's doing right now, but we do have storms coming, so it is what it is. There we go, little water slide. Well, YouTube, I don't know what else to do. The kids all went inside and all that other stuff. Things I do for likes. Hey, it's cold, but it worked just fine.